Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
You are watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Good morning, I'm Renee Summerhour, and welcome to 7 at 7 a.m. Wednesday, January 20th, bringing you 7 minutes of nonstop local news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Let's get started with our top stories this morning, sponsored by Carnegie Heights. Nevada National Guard members who were sent to Washington to provide security for today's inauguration saved a life on Tuesday. The soldiers sprang into action when a car hit a cement wall in a Virginia suburb. 2 captains and a first lieutenant provided aid to the woman and helped her start breathing. The woman was taken to a local hospital. As part of a last-minute wave of clemency moves, President Donald Trump commuted the sentence of Las Vegas businessman and gambler Bill Walters. Walters was convicted in 2017 of inside trading and spent 2.5 years in prison before being released to serve the rest of his 5-year sentence at home due to the pandemic. Trump also pardoned his former chief strategist, Steve Bannon. Today is Inauguration Day. Joe Biden will be sworn in at about 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time as the 46th President of the United States. Kamala Harris will be sworn in as Vice President. The festivities will be different this year. For example, the inaugural parade is going virtual, and the inaugural balls are being replaced by a primetime TV special called Celebrating America, hosted by Tom Hanks. You can find the complete coverage of the inauguration ceremonies at lvrj.com. Governor Steve Sisolak gave his State of the State address virtually last night. He focused on budget issues and Nevada's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Review-Journal reporter James Schaefer has the details.
In a pre-recorded video, Governor Steve Sisolak gave his second State of the State address, outlining how Nevada will move past COVID-19.
Every Nevadan has been impacted by the COVID outbreak.
With a new budget and plan, Governor Sisolak outlined 5 steps for recovery in Nevada. First, a new energy economy and innovation zones, then training a new Nevada job force and a focus on infrastructure projects, and finally upgrades to the state's antiquated information systems. Sisolak then ended his address with a hopeful message for Nevada.
Nevada, we can do this. We are determined, we are resilient, and we are strong.
In more top stories this morning, the man whose remains were recovered from the rubble of a fire at a former wedding chapel has been identified. The Clark County Coroner's Office said Tuesday that 30-year-old Stephen Travis Warren died in the blaze last week at the former chapel on Las Vegas Boulevard north of the Strip. His cause and manner of death are still under investigation. Now let's take a look at our weather forecast. Sunshine with a mix of clouds is forecasted for the Las Vegas Valley Wednesday. The forecasted high will be around 66 degrees. Temperatures will begin to cool as we inch towards the weekend, according to the National Weather Service. Here are your temperatures for the rest of the week. They will stay above normal until the weekend, where we can expect a cool down to the mid-50s, low 40s for your evenings.
Sports, sponsored by Scenic Brewing Company. With your sports update, I'm Leandre Fox. UNLV quarterback Kenyon Oblad announced Tuesday afternoon on Twitter that he has entered the NCAA's transfer portal. The Liberty High School product has 3 years of eligibility remaining. Oblad said there were a lot of factors that went into his decision to leave the Rebels program, saying, quote, "The only thing I'm looking for is a place where I can go play and finish my degree." Oblad continued by saying, quote, "Those are the only things I'm weighing. Anywhere that has that option for me is somewhere I'd like to go play football."
UNLV announced on Tuesday it's retiring its Hey Reb mascot. This comes after the school removed a statue of the mascot in June during a national dialogue about potentially racist imagery. RJ Sports reporter Sam Gordon explains what will happen next.
President Keith Whitfield announced that the school is going to be keeping its Rebels nickname, but he said right now in an open letter to the UNLV community that there are no plans to bring in a new mascot or introduce one. He cited several other teams that don't have mascots: University of Michigan, University of Illinois, University of Indiana, the New York Jets, New York Giants, and Green Bay Packers. So it's not necessary, and I think that's the route he's going to go, at least for right now.
Good morning, CassieSoto here with your Wednesday sports betting update. The Golden Knights will look for a 4-0 start to their season when they host the Arizona Coyotes at 7 p.m. inside T-Mobile Arena. The Knights are minus 195 favorites at the Westgate to beat the Coyotes, and the total is set at 5.5. 2 of the Knights' first 3 games have gone over the total. Current prop bets at the Westgate include will the Knights score a goal in the first period, and will left wing Max Pacioretty score a goal in the game.
In your business news, sponsored by the Las Vegas Chamber, a rival furniture retailer has purchased land next to IKEA in the southwest Las Vegas Valley. Ashley Furniture Industries bought more than 20 acres off Sunset Road, just east of the 215 Beltway, for about $27.4 million. 14 acres of that land came from Walker Furniture, which had planned to build its own store there. Walker CEO said the company would still consider building a store in the Southwest Valley at some point. In your health news, the Nevada System of Higher Education announced Tuesday that it will establish a COVID-19 mental health task force. Carrie Roper has more on what can be expected.
The new mental health task force will make recommendations on how to address emotional and mental health challenges across the higher education system's 8 schools, which serve more than 10,000 students. According to NSHE Chancellor Melody Rose, emotional and mental health is an often overlooked condition, and with the onset of the pandemic, the pre-existing concerns have been made worse. The task force is expected to meet for the first time in February and will continue to meet throughout the year. We will continue to provide details on this story here on 7 at 7 and lvrj.com.
In your lifestyle news, sponsored by Las Vegas Motor Speedway, 3 master plan communities here in the Las Vegas Valley made the top 10 nationally in sales last year. Leading the way was Summerlin, which ranked 3rd in the country, according to figures from the research and consulting firm RCLCO. Valley Vista, which opened in 2018 in North Las Vegas, ranked 6th nationwide in sales, while Cadence in East Henderson ranked 10th. In your entertainment news, the business that makes fun of everything is opening its doors at NEONOPOLIS on Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Haterade, which sells t-shirts and other souvenirs that mocks anything, is slated for a ribbon cutting this week starring Las Vegas Mayor Carolyn Goodman. Dick's Last Resort, the restaurant notorious for its rude service, is also expected to open at NEONOPOLIS in March, subject to state COVID rules. Well, that'll do it for the 7 at 7 a.m. from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I'm Renee Summerhour. Remember, you can get these stories and more on our website at lvrj.com. And don't forget to download our free RJ mobile app for breaking news alerts straight to your phone. We hope you'll join us for 7 at 7 p.m. Have a great day.
Review Journal Studio, sponsored by attorney Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update is sponsored by Pro Group Management. You are watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.